This episode of Nerdist News is sponsored by Hitman 2. We've got all the details, Easter eggs, and Pokemon in the Detective Pikachu trailer. Holy crap, the first Pokemon Detective Pikachu trailer dropped this morning, and there are so many Pokemon, Easter eggs, and tidbits, so let's make like a Squirtle in a large body of water and dive in, baby! First up, we've got this opening crowd shot that is packed to the brim with Pokemon. It's got all your favorites, a Charmander walking in the foreground, a Dodrio, and what looks like Pidgeot flying through the sky. And don't worry, there's not just Gen 1 Pokemon. We've also got newer additions, Comfey, Flabebe, Emolga, Bouffalant, and for all you Wooper and Victini heads, we've got their faces on these signs in the background. At the top of the trailer, a public service announcer welcomes us to Rhyme City, a large metropolitan city in the Pokemon universe that serves as the main location in the Detective Pikachu DS game. One thing that definitely caught our eye is that all of the Pokemon in this shot are walking around freely, unlike the other regions in the Pokemon universe where the pocket monsters are stuffed into tiny balls and primarily used to fight each other for sport. Rhyme City Pokemon seem to be on more equal social footing with their human compatriots. Next, we've got this shot of Katherine Newton, who plays the role of Lucy Stevens, a reporter with a pet Psyduck that looks pretty damn cool. We can also see what looks like giant Pokemon parade balloons of Gengar and Jigglypuff in the background. In the Detective Pikachu game, Rhyme City is most known for throwing a huge Pokemon carnival every year with an accompanying parade, so it's safe to bet we'll also see these elements included in the film. Next, we've got an auditory nod to the Pokemon theme from the original Game Boy Gen 1 series, and it's sweet! Then we're introduced to Justice Smith as Tim Goodman. He's the young protagonist of the film, searching for answers about his dad, Harry Goodman, a member of the Rhyme City Police Department. Tim and Detective Pikachu will team up to find Tim's dad, and if you haven't played the game yet, know that this loosely follows the premise of the Detective Pikachu game. Speaking of Harry Goodman, next we see a shot of Harry's awards on the wall, set with some dialogue from Ken Watanabe's Detective Yoshida, telling us that Harry was a good cop. You know, exposition. And if you wanted to know Tim Goodman's mindset and if he really wants to follow in the family business, we find out in this shot of his room that what he really wants to be is a Pokemon trainer. His bedroom walls are covered in posters promoting some of the biggest Pokemon fights, and if you're looking for name drops, we've got posters featuring Dragonite, Hypno, Blastoise, Charizard, Articuno, Steelix, Rayquaza, Reshiram, Zekrom, and a Pikachu bed that will make your inner child jealous. You should also know that the Sinnoh Championship poster on Tim's wall is a reference to the Sinnoh region, which is the main setting of Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. Next, we see Tim hold a train ticket and debate giving it a try in the big city. We get our first look at Detective Pikachu himself, who is exactly as adorable as you'd want a giant electric mouse to be. Pikachu is voiced by Ryan Reynolds, and aside from Meowth in the Pokemon anime series, a fully articulate Pokemon is a departure for the series.
Meowth! That's right!
But this detail was not just made up for the film. Tim understanding Pikachu is also a huge part of the Detective Pikachu video game, so there's precedent here. But unlike Team Rocket's Meowth, this Pikachu can only be understood by Tim.
Did you just understand me?
Oh my god, you can understand me! Stop!
In the next few shots, we've got Tim and Pikachu wandering through a night market, trying to find some deets about Tim's dad's disappearance. This scene reinforces that much like in the game, Tim is the only one that can understand Pikachu. The sequence also features cameos from the Pokemon Emolga, Dodrio, and Audino, a shot of Charmander's tail, a Jigglypuff graffiti tag, and a sign promoting what looks like Tangela noodles, which is a reference to the grass-type Pokemon Tangela. And in this next shot, we've got the previously mentioned Emolga and Audino, but there's also a Venusaur hiding out in the crowd. Then we see a car explode, illustrating some setup on how Tim's dad disappeared, followed by this shot of what looks like a Rhyme City PD missing persons board, showing us pics of Squirtle and Pancham. Will these missing Pokemon tie into the story of Tim's missing father? Maybe. The next shot focuses on a ton of Bulbasaurs and Moralols walking along a riverbed with Detective Pikachu and Tim. No word on if a group of Bulbasaurs is called a herd or a pod. Also, we've got an adorable Jigglypuff standing on a table at what looks like a coffee shop, and if you were wondering, yes, that is Jigglypuff, and he is carrying its trademark microphone. Is that guy next to Jigglypuff asleep because of a long night out, or is he a victim of Jigglypuff's sleep-inducing sing attack? We won't know until the film comes out, but we're thinking Ranking Sing attack. There's another fight poster in the background promoting a battle between Machamp and Primeape. Then it looks like Charizard is using his flamethrower attack in a battle arena. And this isn't your mom and pop's Pokemon Stadium. This Pokemon arena has more of an underground fight club vibe than the standard Pokemon's huge above-the-board sporting events. Next, we see some fierce-looking Greninja jumping toward the screen. Greninja is a fairly new Pokemon being introduced in 2014's Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. The following shot shows Tim and friends watching what looks like the Pokemon battle from the previous Charizard shot, along with Squirtle, Rufflet, and Pancham. Could these be the Squirtle and Pancham we saw in the missing flyers earlier in the trailer? Eagle-eyed Pokemon fans might notice the unknown Pokemon on Tim's t-shirt. Then we've got some action scene explosions followed by Tim and Pikachu taking a road trip with Stevens and her Psyduck, which sounds like a real headache to me. Get it? Headache because Psyduck. In this shot, we also get a closer look at the unknown on Tim's shirt while Tim and friends look at some Pokemon doing his best impression of the city moving scene from Inception. What Pokemon could be behind a move this powerful? Next, there's a scene featuring Tim and Detective Pikachu interrogating a very creepy-looking Mr. Mime, and we get a full view of Mr. Mime's psychic abilities and sassy side.
He's saying you can shove it.
Though this film looks to be a little darker in tone than the Pokemon films we're used to, these scenes show us that Ryan Reynolds does a great job lightening the mood with some humor. We also see some Greninja attacking Pikachu and Tim in some sort of sterile location, maybe a Pokemon Center or lab, followed by Psyduck unleashing an insane psychic attack while holding his little head, classic Psyduck. And then we close on a shot of Pikachu falling into the open mouth of the Charizard from the earlier Pokemon Battle Arena shot. Wait, did we just watch Pikachu get eaten? I sure hope not. So there you have it. This film looks freaking insane, but besides that, it looks pretty damn good, and we can't wait until it hits theaters in May of next year. But what do you folks think? Does this trailer get you excited for Detective Pikachu? Are there any Pokemon you really want to see in the film? And where do you think Pikachu bought his cute little detective hat? Let's discuss. Thanks again to Hitman 2 for sponsoring today's episode. Hitman 2 drops tomorrow, and there's a whole lot of Hitmaning to do in this new release. The game sports over 400 challenges, more than 100 disguises, and 6 sandbox locations, including Miami and Mumbai, all adding up to over 100 hours of gameplay. Plus, Sean Bean stars as elusive target number 1, aka the Undying, starting November 20th. And this new release of Hitman features the Legacy Pack, which remasters all Season 1 locations with Hitman 2 features. The Legacy Pack is free to current owners of Season 1, so snatch that up, agents. Hitman 2 is available November 13th for PC, PS4, and Xbox One.